Lights, camera,
Rolling.
action.
Welcome to my podcast, Let's Talk About Verticals, a place where secrets are spilled, stories unfold, and the mysterious world of verticals is revealed in all its glory. Behind the scenes, oh yes. Exclusive insights, absolutely. Eccentric characters, you bet. So pull up a chair, pour yourself something suspiciously strong, and prepare for a conversation you didn't know you needed. So welcome to the podcast Let's Talk About Verticals. And now, let's talk. Hello and welcome to my podcast Let's Talk About Verticals. Today with another first time. No, not an actress, not an actor, not a director. Some new crew member joins my podcast today, and I'm very happy to hear about her because I've never talked to a person whose job is the intimidate on set, and I love to hear the more behind the scenes stuff. And so I'm very happy to have her and say hello to Karie Donovan, the intimacy coordinator. Welcome to my podcast.
Hello, hello.
I was very happy that you want to join me because, you know, intimacy is always kind of not so talked about stuff in real life. And the first time I heard that in verticals there are intimacy coordinators, I was a little bit confused, to be honest, because I couldn't imagine what you are doing exactly and what's your job. So would you mind explaining what an intimacy coordinator is for on a vertical set?
Absolutely. Actually, in the vertical world, it's a lot harder to be an intimacy coordinator, believe it or not, than in a, like, say, a Netflix show or series. Basically, what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to step in, choreograph any intimate scene that there might be, whether it's simulated sex, a romance. The verticals are like almost like a romance novel, so they're edgy and risque, but there's not any real nudity. There's always an implied. So it's kind of tricky. And so we're supposed to step in and see what the director's vision is for the scene that they're wanting to shoot, and rehearse with the actors, do some body mapping, making sure what's a safe zone, what's not a safe zone, how they're comfortable being touched, lifted, pressed against, etc. And then we work out all those details, and then we go in with the director, we show them what we're doing, and then we shoot from there. It's a little harder in verticals because there's zero time. You literally come on set and they say, and you can't rehearse really, a little bit in between scenes, but the main characters that are in the intimate scenes are either in every scene or one or the other is in every scene. So it's very hard. But that's the gist of it, the basics. But it's very detailed, a lot of props, a lot of barriers, so that there's no touching of body parts with another person, so that there's no stimulation. And
you tell me how much I have say. Some questions there also for this stuff.
Yes, and I can say that in my experience with the verticals, which, by the way, when I first started, Matt invited me because he's like, oh, I have to have an intimacy coordinator. Now, we don't know any. And, my field is in psychology for 25 years and teaching, and I'm a really good listener. And so he said, Karie, can you help us out? I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, okay. So I get on set and I just basically was in the room. I didn't even know what I was supposed to be doing. But the more that I was there and the more I started studying, by the way, thank you, Matt. Fully read.
We are talking about Matt Macedo, by the way, the director.
Macedo. Yeah, really good friend and a director. He gave me the Intimacy Coordinator's Guidebook. That helped a
The
lot.
Intimacy Coordinator's Guidebook? There is a book
Yeah.
for intimacy coordinators?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
So think about it like this, just to make it simple for people, because people are very confused. If you have a fight scene, you hire a stunt coordinator.
Yes.
You don't have them just come in and be on the set, and then you go and you direct your fight scene and just check off that you have a stunt coordinator on set. You have them do the stunt, coordinate the whole thing, the rolling, the punching, the moving. That's what they do. It's the same for intimacy. You don't just put two people in the room and say, okay, guys, when we say action, we need you to kiss. We need you to kind of make out. I want you to pick her up and throw her on the bed. There's a lot involved, safety wise and, emotional wise.
Yeah.
Lots of things.
So you said you were a psychologist before?
I worked in the psychology field. I worked in a school with children and parents, and did some parenting classes and things like that. So a lot of abuse victims, females. So I did a lot of that counseling type stuff and teaching children who had been abused. So it kind of helps me to relate to somebody's been maybe traumatized in their past.
Yeah.
And doing in a real film, maybe not necessarily the verticals, but say a rape scene, you don't know what somebody's background is. And trigger something. So super important.
Yeah, that's all sometimes like a problem. So that's why I have the opinion that there should be more trigger warnings before in the verticals, because all the kind of stuff like miscarriage, abortion, stuff like that, because mostly of the audience are women in the age who possibly get connected to these themes in their real life in a way.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm missing more trigger warnings at the beginning of verticals when it's about kind of leg stuff and raping and stuff also. So what were your thoughts when you come to set for your first time and had to coordinate all the intimacy scenes? I mean, it's kind of different than talking to kids and parents and teach them in a different way.
It absolutely is. And in all honesty, when I first stepped into this role, I didn't coordinate anything. I didn't really know what my role was supposed to be other than a support and to make sure people are comfortable. I'd stand behind the camera with the director and I'd look at the screen and make sure they're looking at the action and what they want. And then I'm looking to see, do I see somebody's underwear under their skirt? Do I see somebody's breast getting ready to flop out of their really tight little dress? That's all really that I knew. But the more I started taking the courses and studying, and Kristen Elizabeth is an amazing intimacy coordinator who I'm working under now in getting fully certified. She really talks about and helps to teach the other things you need to work on. And so I didn't really choreograph a lot. But one of the films I really got to really just step in and do. And at first I was really nervous about it. EVU is a director that I worked for, and it was called Relentless Love. And Jessica Jacoby and Kenny Resch were the stars. And they were so polite and so welcoming. And it just made me feel like they wanted me there. Okay. And so that made me feel better, which is surprising because a female director, it seems like it would have been different. Because a male director, it feels like it would be easy to step in as an intimacy coordinator because you want to, like, for instance, Matt, he doesn't want to choreograph any intimacy because he understands he doesn't want that power dynamic of going, okay, there's a male director, he's asking me to do this and that. Yeah. So he's super cool about that. When I worked under Evie, I was at first a little intimidated, but it was great. And if you go to my Instagram or just look at that film, it's a vertical, and you look at that car scene, it's a car makeout scene. I got to do the whole thing. And then we have some behind the scenes stuff with Evie in the seat as Kenny and Jessica straddling her. as the character because we needed to make sure it was going to work, how she was going to get on top of him. Was there enough room in the car? We don't want to hurt your legs flopping over someone's lap, that type of thing. So it was very a good experience. I felt almost for the first time that as an intimacy director, I was welcomed, so to speak, other than working with that. Because I think maybe they think that we're going to go in and we're just going to make it our scene, but it's really not that. We're just there to support them, and they tell us what they want. We work with the actors to make sure it's something they're comfortable with, and we create that story for them in a much safer way. And just say, let's do it.
How many verticals have you done so far as an intimacy coordinator?
Either 20 or 21, something like that.
Oh, that's
I've done a lot. It's kind of slow right now, but that's okay. It's going to pick up in a little bit. So,
a question what I'm interested in. There are coming some verticals up in the lately with all the kind of BDSM stuff. How do you work with that? I mean, BDSM or even a strip club, pole dancer, intimacy scene, whatever like that.
Right.
Where do you get your expert opinions how you can do that? Do you connect other, I call them experts, who work maybe in this kind of space, so that you can make the scenes looking more realistic?
I think that would be a really good way to do it. I've only worked on maybe 2 BDS type films, and I just made sure that I watch movies that are in that same genre. And I look at it from an intimacy coordinator eye or gaze, so to speak, and go, okay, in that scene, if I was an intimacy coordinator, what would I do? How would I have the camera looking? Though I'm not the cameraman, but you choreograph it in a way that says, say it's a shower scene, you're only going to show them from the shoulders up, maybe it could be from the front or the back, but they have a little strapless bathing suit on. It implies they're nude. We had one, I was doing a scene where the girl was in her leather outfit and she had to spank the man bent over a couch on his rear end, and they were just kind of swiping past him, and there was a gap like this, which is fine if you're going to film from the front of him or the back of her and then do sound effects. But they wanted the shot from the side, so it's like, okay, we have to make it look real. Well, I have they're triangle shaped rounded top pieces of yoga mat. So I said, hang on, I have the solution. I ran and I got him. We put him between his jeans and his underwear and tucked his thing back in and put his belt on. And she was able to swap him as hard as she wanted. He didn't feel anything. Okay. So there's a lot of tricks that you can do, but you have to make sure, again, that he's comfortable with being hit, or she's comfortable hitting him, or are you comfortable even doing a scene like that? Because sometimes, they say, oh yeah, I can do that. And then they get in there and they realize, oh, I don't really feel too good about this. I don't want to be the rapist. I don't like that feeling, or I don't want to be the person getting attacked by guys while the werewolf does the same. I've been in a lot of werewolf.
But I was wondering, I mean, the BDSM stuff is kind of its own world in the intimacy. And they have some of their own procedures, I call it. How do you get this knowledge about this scene?
You get on YouTube and you look for, stuff to read. I'd read a lot. I look at a lot of YouTube videos. If I know that, so like Netflix Sense8, that series, that's incredibly graphic. And there's a little of everything in it. So just watching those types of films, even if it's not necessarily what I like to watch, if I'm going to be hired for a particular type of a film, I have to do my research.
Yeah, it's
so that
work.
I know
Yeah.
what I'm doing, you know, and you just take yourself out of that and you go, this is a job. It's like listening to, you know, in my old jobs, listening to somebody who'd been beaten or abused, even if it was a child. You don't like hearing it necessarily, but you have to hear it, and then you work with that person. So it's the
Yeah.
same. You know, it doesn't bother me. I don't sit back and watch certain types of films for enjoyment,
Yeah.
like that. I can and use it as my work.
Would
You
it be
know?
helpful in that case if you can hire a BDSM expert for set? Maybe some registered, there are publicly dominas, for example, registered yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's kind of, to be honest, it's kind of here in Germany also, it's a big scene.
it's a big scene. I think I would if I were if a production was going to hire a BDSM expert, I wouldn't have them choreographing and running the scene. I would have them there, maybe showing us what types of things that they do,
Mhm.
and then going through and saying, okay, what parts of this are you guys comfortable portraying?
Yeah. No, so it was only the asking because of getting more input, so
Or
that
just,
it also looks realistic later, you know?
oh, sure.
Because, for example, there are some scenes, maybe you're in hospital and you need to get the defibrillator on it, but they always do it on the clothes. And
They do, I know.
and with a little bit of medical sense, you know, that wouldn't work in the reality. So it's kind of shit. So
Yeah, I
for
think
me,
sometimes
to
they just
make
don't think
the
like that.
things a bit more realistic, we all know verticals are fairy tale stories, but to be more realistic, even where it's possible to do it more realistic, I'm not understand. I don't understand why they aren't doing it.
Um, I don't know. I mean, are you asking, would they have the BDSM or the dominatrix woman play the role of the dominatrix woman, or come in as an expert and discuss with whoever's running that scene, whether it's the intimacy coordinator, the director, the stuntman, and the actors?
Not only that they will put their knowledge about this scene, or that you can ask them, we shoot this and that scene, what would it look like realistic in
Yeah.
real life?
Yeah.
So
I think
because
it could be what they did.
because I think there have also some special, I don't know, uses in the scene, or I don't know, but there are a lot of this really spicy verticals,
Yeah.
at least. And to be honest, I don't really like them because it's always that the women are so devoted and so.
I know.
That's the reason why I don't like this kind of verticals. But how is it to get or to work as a team to get the spicier scenes with these elements done?
Yeah. I kind of, I feel like it's about male and female views. And I feel like that it would be really interesting to me to see a vertical. It could be as spicy as they want it to be, but from the female perspective, because when you look at Outlander on Netflix, the scene number 7, actually the entire thing, it was directed by a female, but all of the sex scenes are they're more, how do I say it? From a woman's perspective, the man is in that position of where the woman would be. You know, he's more sensitive, not femme, but just, and not that she's running the show. It takes from a woman always being under the man and being by the man. It shows the man's sensitivity to a scene. It shows their vulnerability. and not necessarily always the woman. But I don't know if they'll ever do anything like that. It would be interesting.
Do you think it makes a difference if a woman is a director or a man is the director?
I do. But in the verticals, what my experience has been, I've had directors not want to do a particular thing, and with very good reason. They're very good directors. They're conscientious about their actors. And so they'll go back to production and tell them, hey, and production wants it done a certain way. So I think that is definitely an issue. And I don't know if it's just a cultural thing, because there seem to be mostly from, the Chinese production companies, even though they might be based here or in LA.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's a good question. But I feel like when I see movies that are directed by a female and directed by a male, I feel like there's certain directors that that are female that just show it because they can relate to the female in the show. So they're more able to change that dynamic and not, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I know. Do you know if in China there are also intimacy coordinators? Do you know that?
I don't know in China, but I know in Korea there is one.
One.
So anybody who wants to be an intimacy coordinator got their passport. You can go to Korea and help them out.
How is it in the US?
It's growing more and more.
It's more, yeah, okay. But not every set has a intimacy coordinator.
Well, here's the deal.
moment.
If it's a non-union, they don't necessarily have to have one, but the indie films they're very open to having the intimacy coordinators.
Okay.
The SAG-AFTRA, if you are a union film, you have to have one. And what the wording actually says is you have to show that you've attempted to have an intimacy coordinator. But there's enough of them that there's no reason why there shouldn't be an intimacy coordinator on the set.
Yeah, maybe to save money.
Absolutely. That's what it's always about. And they don't want to pay the same as they pay a stunt coordinator. But to me, it's a little bit more serious, not physical serious, but emotional serious.
Yeah, exactly. It's more serious also for the mental health.
Sure. Yeah.
We don't have to discuss it. How hard is it? I mean, the leads meet or getting to know each other if they didn't have already done a vertical together on first time on set or at the rehearsal 1 day or 2 days before. Did you ever have two leads that weren't so happy to do intimacy scenes together?
Not two leads, but a lead and another character had to do an intimacy together, and they did not mesh. And you never want to embarrass anybody or make them feel strange about why somebody doesn't want to kiss them or have them hugging them. But we just break it down into this is the professional job. We're going to separate it out, and we're going to take the sexualness out of it for you. This is just the job, and don't think of any emotions. Try not to, it wasn't even a major thing, but yeah. And I've had more than that. I've had people in a situation where they weren't comfortable with the intimate stuff happening to them by a particular male actor who was like a day player, and they had to come in. They were like the bad guy, and so here's an example. The director says, okay, I want you to go in. She's tied to the bed, and I want you to go in and get really close to her and close to her ear and say things. Well, then he went in and he did that, but then he smelled her and sniffed down her body and back up to her neck. And we're like, didn't say to do that. So things like that do happen sometimes when people try to get into their role, method acting, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Those are the things that are so important, because it's just like anything else. You do it the way that it's rehearsed. Your hand is here, your face is right here toward the camera. You're not touching. Brush your teeth first, things like that. But no ad-libbing to add to the character. And that's the part of intimacy coordinating that I feel is super important, because that stuff happens all the time. All the time. And that's what I would say, more than just personality clash. It's the people. Here's another example. We were doing a shoot, and the girl was sitting on the guy's lap behind the desk, and he was supposed to portray this, I hate to say dirty old man, but that's what he was supposed to be portraying. And he had these two young, scantily clad girls on each leg, and he was supposed to have his hand on her waist. Well, then by the third take, they have to get everybody's coverage, right? By the third take, he's got his hand really close on her thigh, close to her groin area. And I was behind the camera with the director, and I'm watching her, and I could see her taking her hand and kind of putting it close, between his hand and her body. And I could just tell that she was totally uncomfortable. Now we have the power to say cut, but they don't like that. So I don't do that. I tap the director and say, hey, can you ask him to, can we just cut for a second? You ask him to put his hand here and not here, and whisper to the director if that's okay with her or him. And if they want me to say it, I'm more than happy to say it. But a lot of times in these vertical experience that I've had, they want to do that part of it, which is fine, but they don't see it. They don't see things that I see necessarily.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just looking at, let's get the roll done. Yeah. So, and I'm going to tell you right now, man, there are, especially certain actors that I've worked with, are so glad when I show up. They're like, oh, yay, Karie's here. And it makes me feel good, because I'm going to be looking for things that nobody else is necessarily looking for, yeah.
So what has changed in the intimacy coordination from your first vertical till the last one?
My very first one, that was with Matt. We were in Visalia, and I didn't know anything. I just kind of came on and said, okay, I'll help out. And I'm in the room, and we're supposed to be having a scene where they're making love. And I was just kind of making sure that, the clothes were in place, the pillow was where it needed to be, so there was no body to body contact.
But do they really never ever have really the body to body contact?
They're not supposed to. And that's SAG-AFTRA rules. You have to have a barrier. So if you don't have a pillow, a deflated Pilates ball, in bigger films, bigger productions, if there's really real nudity, there's always something between them. You just don't see it. Okay. It's shot in a way that you don't see it. Nobody's really got their genital area against somebody else's genital area. They don't. It's all
because that I was wondering, because sometimes you see that the woman goes with their hand totally slowly down the chest and stuff like that. Yeah, and then I was wondering, isn't that stimulating for the man? Sorry, but
it probably is. And so we just always want to check in before the scene and remind people, remember, we're going to be respectful. His hand's going to be here, your hand's going to be there. Are you guys okay with that? Sure. And does anybody need a break? And I was on a shoot, and one of the actors made it very clear he did not want anybody, the girl in the bed with him, he did not want her to touch the nipples on his chest. He said, "You can hand here or on my stomach." He goes, "But stay off my nipples, And I'm like, oh, that's and
fair enough. They can say it.
Sure. And you just have to remind people that don't read anything into it. You're not really in a relationship. Now, you might be attracted to the person, and you might have a little crush on them. I do believe that happens. We all know it does, right? But
I'm sure that it happens sometimes, because you can see there are a lot of vertical actors who are dating.
Yeah, I worked with one that started dating after our film.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the whole
So
time they were very professional. They didn't let on at all. And yeah, it happens. But
is
you
it
just
easier to shoot with a pair of leads who are already dating?
I don't know. I didn't know they were dating at the time. They weren't dating at the time until afterwards. This is the first time they had worked together.
Okay.
And then they
No,
were
because
dating
there are
afterwards.
some pairs of actors which we knew they were dating in real life, and then they shoot some verticals together. And I was wondering if it's easier for an intimacy coordinator to work with two people who are already dating because they
You
feel
know,
more comfortable in intimacy scenes.
they probably feel more comfortable, but I always tell whether they're dating or not. I don't know that information
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the most part. But I always tell people in when you're getting ready to do your scene, do it the way we rehearsed. Don't bring your own stuff to it
hmm,
because that takes that part out of it for them. They don't have to have that pressure to go, okay, and there's never any tongue kissing. Um, uh, you're not really removing underwear, things like that. But we just say rehearse it the way it's rehearsed. Don't bring any of your personal, stuff to the thing that you want to do. We don't want to see your moves, that you use it in the privacy of your home.
yeah,
This is
yeah,
a professional job. You can do whatever you want at home. That's fine. Don't add that extra little move that you might do with your girlfriend at home, kind
yeah,
of thing.
yeah. That's sometimes hard to believe because, yeah, the thing is, when I heard first time of an intimacy coordinator, I was really thinking about what's their job. If they are standing beside the actors and said, "Yeah, yeah, that looks real," or I didn't know that you are coordinating this whole intimacy scene in every move the actor should
You
make and
do, but
stuff like
why?
that.
Well, if it was a stunt scene, a physical fight with a sword
Yeah.
or punches, wouldn't you do that? Sure you would. You wouldn't say, "Okay, guys, I want you to pretend like you're hitting each other." Someone's going to get hit. So in another scene, pretend like you guys are making out, and I know for a fact, not in verticals, but in other movies, the guy gets stimulated and the girl can feel it up against her body.
Yeah.
So those are things. That's why when they know that there's a barrier there, I think it kind of is a turn off to the guys. They
Yeah.
just got to do the motions, and for the most part, the camera is from their waist up. They're not really
Uh,
showing their whole body with legs
yeah.
wrapped around everything else, not in these verticals. But in other films, they sure are. But there's always a barrier, and I think that is an easy way for guys to take. And in some of those movies, they're off to the side, more on the back of the buttock
Uh-huh.
or on the inside of the thigh than in the middle of their growing area. They're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
really, pressing. If you do it right, you that's never going to really happen.
I heard from an actor sometimes it's hard if there is a big making out the first scene you ever shot together.
Yeah, yeah.
How
I
is
wish
it
that.
possible to get the actor's comfort if that happens?
Well, on the
They,
verticals, it's really hard because I try to call them on the phone prior to getting there
mm-hmm,
and call them separate and just talk about what their comfortable level is
mm-hmm,
and what if they've ever worked on a scene like this before, um, how they like to be coached, and this is something that I've learned in my classes is all the different styles of intelligence that people have as far as their learning styles. Some people are more tactile, some people are hands-on, some people are more visual, some people just want to memorize the script and go do it. So you need to find out what their learning style is,
yeah,
and what parts of their body and actions are they comfortable doing, what they're not comfortable doing. Some people don't want to ever have a shower scene, or if they do, they want to make sure they have something on their body other than a towel, and that's a whole nother story that was kind of a
yeah, the shitty towel drop. Ah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's that
Ah,
too. That's in every movie, right?
I
Um,
asked, I had different actors. I was interviewing for a podcast, and the most actors I know that they had some towel drop scenes. I asked how many towel drops and how many proposals you did in your vertical career so far. And I talked to Casey Esser, for example, and he did 51 verticals. In 49, he proposed.
wow. Yeah, I get sometimes I read the scripts and I feel like I've read the script 20 something times already, just different
Yeah,
character names,
that's it.
different
That's
city,
it. Only the
but
cast changes.
basically,
Maybe it's getting a werewolf one instead of a classic be a CEO billionaire
oh
office
yeah,
stuff.
pregnant by my uncle's nephew,
Oh,
all those,
there are so many stories,
I know.
exactly the same stories, only published with a different cast.
It
So,
makes you wonder if it's just a chat GPT and they just write it into the script, but who
yeah, and
knows?
sometimes, to be honest, you can feel exactly or you can see exactly which script were AI translated from the Chinese one to the English one, because some
Mm,
of the sentence don't make even sense in a way they were
yeah.
talked.
I think
So,
sometimes I wonder if they see which ones get the most audience looking
mhm.
at it, and they take that script and they just tweak it a little bit and then resubmit it.
Yeah, I'm
I don't
sure.
know.
I'm sure that that's the way it
It's
goes.
kind of funny.
Because sometimes, it's also when you have some intimacy scenes. I can tell you exactly when the towel will drop. You see 2 minutes earlier when the next towel drop will happen.
Yep, yep.
But what I don't like are the scenes where the girl gets drugged or the man and they having sex because of the drugs.
Oh, I know.
With the stupid things like help me, I've got drugged, you have to help me.
Yeah,
And the help is to sleep together.
yeah. I know. I know. And those are things that are so important again as a coordinator because these all these actresses and actors are really young, right? They're
Yeah.
all 30, maybe a few are over 30, but
But if
most,
you also nearly 20.
yes, very young. And they're in scenes that maybe they've never I've been on a set where they've never kissed a boy, but in the role they're supposed to be kissing a girl and they're like, "What?" And they're like, "Didn't you read the script?" Well, yeah, but I don't want to do that. And I'm like, "Okay, well, you're not going to do it then, Director doesn't like it, but we worked at something else out and it turned out okay, but these some of these young kids are being asked to, like, there's one where I don't know what it is. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just saw it come across on the Instagram on one of
Hmm.
the Reels apps, like short
Yeah,
maps or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah. The
And
advertising stuff. Yeah.
yeah, and it's the hook. The hook is the girl being pushed down, and the camera's at her front. And you can see a guy with a bath towel behind her. And the thing is, I can't believe I took all that. I mean, that's to me, and they're like almost 20 years old. What they maybe never even had sex in their life, and they're being told to
Yeah.
to perform as if they have.
Yeah.
And some of the sex is supposed to be pretty, like you say, violent, aggressive,
Yeah.
coerced, a lot of coercion.
That's the reason why I don't like the BDSM stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I've only worked on, I think two, and yeah, but I'm glad that I'm there. I don't necessarily like it, but I'm glad that I'm there.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah,
make
yeah.
sure it's not
But
just
better way, like there
girl
would
in
be
the house.
no intimacy coordinator stuff for that. But sometimes when you have kissing scenes, sometimes the kissing scenes are really, you see exactly who is pressing the lips so hard together so that the
You hear a
kissing.
lot of that. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's like, yes, I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah. Even a kissing scene is so normally full of emotion stuff. And
Yeah,
you see exactly in the verticals when the kissing is not fitting so well for
yeah.
both sides.
They just, yeah, they just want to to show it. They're not really getting deep into those characters like they
Yeah.
would in a whole series or in a good 2-hour movie. Because you're right, there's a lot of emotion. Like if, when they show the girl touching his chest, they just zoom in on the hand. What they should be doing is pulling back and looking at him, looking at her hand.
Yeah.
That shows emotion, and a good director would be looking for that. But they just want those close shots sometimes, which, hey, if that's what they're wanting, then that's how they're going to run it. But there is a lot that could be done, I think, that would show more emotion for sure.
What do you think? What improvement is needed to get there?
There needs to be rehearsal time. There needs to be it. You literally get there on set. They tell you I've been called the day of the scene. It's been going on for 8 days and I'm called for 2 hours going, there's a scene today. We need you here. I'm like, okay. I get there. They're like, well, just hang on over here until we're ready for you. Well, they're already in the room. And I'm like, there is no rehearsing. There's rehearsing if you can find the time. They don't want you to do it during the lunch. I've tried to do it. No, you enjoy your lunch. I'm like, well, we can eat and talk, and rehearse it, I think.
Yeah.
But they want you to do it between the scenes, and that's fine. But like I said, they're usually in every scene, or both are in every scene. They're always doing something,
Yeah.
The two main actors and actors that are in those romantic scenes. It makes it very hard. So if they would squeeze it in their budget, add one day, we could do all the scenes in one day, rehearse.
Yeah.
Get them done. And then the day of, everybody would know what's happening. Even the crew sometimes, I mean, you don't know what somebody's thinking about when they're watching a certain scene and they're on the microphone running sound and they have to hear all those sounds and maybe they're getting aroused, maybe the camera, like, there's a lot to it. Yeah.
Yeah, but do you think how can I say it? Do you think every set should have an intimacy coordinator?
Only if there's intimate scenes.
Yeah, but what's the definition of intimate? Is it
I'd
only get a kiss someone?
No, it's also, to me, it's emotions. If there's, so say there's a young child on set. I've been on a set where there's a young child on 2 different sets, but I'm there for the romantic parts of it. But what if a child's on set and they're supposed to run out because they saw their mom or their dad get hit by a car and their role is to run out and be distraught and crying? That's an intimate scene. So to me, it's not about sex. All of it.
Yeah.
It's about death. It's about bullying. It's about overdosing. It's all of it.
Yeah.
So anything that makes you emotional, angry, sad, sexy, happy, anything, I think there should be an intimacy coordinator or some type of a set therapist. I don't even know if that exists, But,
yeah, because sometimes I think I spoke to different actors and asked them, for example, if they are playing a villain and they are getting totally in this character and they had to do things on set in normal life, it's totally against their comfortable zone.
Yeah.
To do it, someone raping or someone really slapping, stuff like that.
Yep.
And they told me that it's sometimes hard to get these feelings out of the head because the role sometimes catches you in a way and you cannot stop that when the shooting day is over. Sometimes you have to take your role mentally with you home and work with that.
That's very true. And if you don't have that capability of grounding yourself, you need somebody that's going to help you do that. Bringing headphones on the set and saying, hey, put the headphones in. What kind of music do you like? Talking to them.
Yeah.
That's why I think Matt asked me in the beginning, because that's what we did,
Because he knows you have your psychologist background there.
And being able to refocus. Remember, this was this was what you did in the scene. It's a horrible thing. But remember that even though it's a real thing that can happen in life, it didn't happen today here in life. It
Yeah.
was acting, and it's a role that you're wanting to, you're acting these roles out, but separate yourself, look around. Where are you at? You're here. I'm here.
Yeah.
You're here. Let's go take a walk. Let's look at stuff. Think about things that are enjoyable to you. And guess what? After this is over, you're all going to go back to that.
Yeah.
You're not going to really be in a scene with him or in a place with that person who's pushing you on the ground and performing a rape. You help people get grounded.
Do you think there should be more watched after the mental health of the actors?
Say that one more time.
Do you think it's needed more to be overviewed or watched about the mental health of the actors?
Yes. And I think that in the verticals, it's just such a rushed thing that it's like, come in, block, 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 block. Okay, da, 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 action, boom. Okay, next. And there isn't that. And I think there should be, for sure, because these, especially the BDSM stuff, it is becoming more common, those types of shows than before. I mean, before it was just little romance things, But yeah, I think for sure. And that's, to me, is what an intimacy coordinator's job should be. If you're on set and there's that scene, you're there anyway. So it should be your job to make sure that somebody is talking to those actors. And here's a good example. We were at one on a scene, and after they did their fake makeout, they set up in the bed, but the girl's hand was still kind of like on the guy's, like it accidentally landed on his crotch.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't tell if she was just uncomfortable and didn't know if she should move it, because then it would be obvious, or if she wanted it to be there. He didn't say anything. I don't know if he liked it or if he didn't, so you never know. So you just kind of make an excuse and say, okay, guys, I need everybody out of the room so we can relook at whatever. And then everybody gets up and leaves. And then you can go check in with those people and say, hey, I want to remind everybody, we're going to keep it professional. Let's remember that when the scene's over, we're back to our professional selves. We're not in a relationship. And you do it in a nice way that's more, they're going to be more accepting to the feedback.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to accuse anybody of doing something, because if it was done
who
on
knows
purpose.
if it's their intention to do that or not.
Yeah.
You said you did a bit more over 20 verticals right now. What addicts you to this vertical stuff?
That's a good question. I don't know, but the more I do it, the more I like being out there and doing it. I don't know. I think it's just the knowing how fake it is and then seeing the final product. If people knew what really happened behind the scenes.
Yeah, that in an intimacy scene, 30 people are standing around the bed.
and poor Eric Gilmet, he 7 or 8 times he had to lift the actress and lay her on the bed. Retake, do it again, one more time. Lift, lay. Okay,
oh, come on, Eric is really well trained.
I know, but he's going to have a bad back in about 10 years.
Yeah, he has a lot. He's a lot to lift the women.
But I don't watch TV or movies the same anymore. It's like I look at it, I'm like, okay, that means this is probably their 3rd take, because they had to get his coverage from this way. Okay, then, there's another take because they had to get her coverage from that way. And it's the same exact lines over and over and over, because the camera's in all these different places, and then they're like, okay, now let's move on. It could take a full day to do a scene, depending on how intense it is and how many actors are in it. People don't realize that. I didn't realize it. So I think that's a big part of it for me.
But can you watch without this thought any stuff anymore?
It's hard, but if it's a really good show, I can. Outlander is really good. Sense8 is really good. It's a little confusing, but it's a good show. But Otherwise, it's Dateline. I don't know.
Yeah, because I asked Matt the same stuff. I mean, if you are like a director or if you are watching so detailed some kind of stuff, is it possible to still only enjoy
I
a
think
film?
it is. It for me, it depends on the film. I'm a big I like thrillers, and if I can get into a good thriller, then I'm okay. But when I watch, I don't watch TV series as like Chicago Fire and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
like.
yeah.
Oh, that's corny to me. I like movies, and but when they're now though, anytime there's intimacy, I can't. I look at it and I go,
Yeah,
I know there's a
that's what I'm
barrier there.
thinking. Yeah.
I know they got a flesh-colored pair of underwear on there to sit on the side and stuck together with glue.
You
And
know all
I know
the
they got
tricks.
nipple pasties on, and I know that they're if it's filmed from here and the Outlander, there's a really horrific. It's a rape scene from a man to a man, and
Okay.
but they did a great job filming from the front of the man who was being victimized, and again, it was directed by a female, so you see. Imagine the same scene, but a woman being raped, okay? Cameras facing the woman, cameras facing the man. The woman, how they just disassociate. She did such a perfect job making him portray that. Because it had to be hard as a male actor to be able to portray that, knowing you've never, I mean, and then being the male who's supposed to be raping him. But in between them, they filmed it in such a way that if you were to look at from the side, there's probably this much space between them. There's probably a little bit off to the side, and there's definitely something there between them, a barrier of some sort. The only touching is you can see his hands touching the man on his hips. But it's all in how you film it. But yeah, I mean, those kind of shows, that's how I look at it now. I just look at, okay, because it helps me be
Yeah, to improve. Did you ever did an intimacy coordinator for a gay vertical?
Not a gay vertical, but for a gay theater in San Francisco, I've done two for theater.
Okay.
And that's kind of cool because you have nothing but rehearsal time, and then we follow up on a Zoom, and because I can't just drive to San Francisco every time,
Yeah.
And then I always get the invite to go and actually watch the play. And it's just like, oh, I was there for that. And I did that. And I showed them how to do that. Yeah, no. And yeah. And that doesn't bother me at all because I am gay, so.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking, is it different to coordinate gay one in intimacy scenes than no,
I mean,
not gay?
Well, if it's two women, it's going to be different. And then you have to know if they are gay or not, you don't want to ask them, but if they identify themselves, as it helps you to know their comfortable level, their comfort level.
Yeah.
So for, I haven't done, there was a kissing scene, a basic kissing scene for a girl on a girl, but it was like, so they were supposed to be in high school, which I was like, oh my gosh, seriously? And she didn't want to do it. And I said, then you don't have to do it. Well, then they tried to talk her into doing it. Well, how about 10 seconds? How about, this or that? And she's like, I don't want to do it. So I said, can we do this? Can we film from behind? You see her face, shocked, the girl's moving in to get a kiss, but the girl stops here.
Yeah.
And you just see her like this the whole time, but the girl who's doing the kissing moves a little bit to simulate that she's trying to kiss her, but you don't know that they're this far apart.
Yeah.
And so they were okay with it. It was like, okay, thank you, and she was okay with it. But, and that's the thing. I don't know if everybody's aware of that, but there should be a writer signed, a nudity writer saying, this is what I'm agreeing to. This is what I'm not agreeing to. And I've been on set and they're like, we want to change it a little bit. We want there to be no clothes under the towel. We want there to be this outfit instead. We want you to do this instead. And I'm like, is it in the writer? And if it's not, they have to agree. And if they do agree, you're
you rewrite that. Yeah.
They have the right, all the actors have the right to change their mind the day of shooting. If they decide
Okay.
they can't do it and they don't feel right, they just are having a bad day or emotionally, they just don't want to do it. They do not have to, and they should not be pressured. And I've been on a set where somebody was pressured to do something, and guess what? Wardrobe malfunction. And unfortunately, I was on that set, but it wasn't something that I was responsible for. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I had
Yeah.
all the things in place that were supposed to be there. Production calls down, director, we want this removed. We don't want to have the bra underneath the towel. We want nothing under the towel. So we got pasties and a tube top and everything else. But guess what? The person who was supposed to pull the towel pulled the whole thing off. And,
Oh,
you know,
shit.
that was on my watch. So I'm the one looked at as accountable for that. Though I flat out told them, I said, she doesn't want to do that. And they said, well, okay, well, you guys enjoy your lunch and we'll talk about it. Well, guess what they did? They went upstairs. I'm not going to mention the show, the actors, or who it
Yeah,
was.
no problem.
And they talked this poor girl into agreeing to do it. I was not invited into that room. That is a big no-no. That's coercion. And that is not supposed to happen. That's against the rules of SAG-AFTRA. So
Yeah.
the verticals are saying we have to have an IC there because we want to follow SAG-AFTRA rules. Well, then you have to follow all the rules.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Totally agree.
I just felt horrible for her, but there's nothing I could have done. It was done behind my back, literally behind my back.
Yeah. There are sometimes always the black sheeps in every type of
Oh yeah,
industry, you know. At the end of every podcast episode, I'm asking a 5-question quickie. Always
Ooh,
the
okay.
same one. Kind of different things.
Let me take a drink first.
Yeah, no problem. I want to know, what's your favorite dish? What kind of food do you like?
Clams and butter and garlic, little French bread, and a good glass of Pinot.
Oh, lamb chops.
Clams.
Ah, clams.
Not
I thought lamb.
lamb would be all right. I'm not a big lamb person.
Yeah, that's
clams.
why I was a little bit wondering. But
it might be good in
sometimes-
garlic and butter. I don't know.
Yeah. That sure. I'm sure about that. What's your favorite film?
I love Mulholland Drive. It's the weirdest
What's
film.
the title?
Mulholland Drive. Mulholland. It's a street in LA, but it's a real Naomi Watts stars in it. It's so good.
Okay.
She's kind of going off the deep end, and it's about the film industry and her and an actress, and it's really good.
Oh,
Really good.
I have to
Mulholland
s-
Drive.
yeah, I have to look after that. What's your favorite song? What kind of music do you like to listen?
I like a lot of alternative, but my number one song is Pictures of You by The Cure. I love it.
Oh,
I love
that's a
anything
great
Cure.
song.
Yeah, I love The Cure.
It's a great song. Do you listen to music while you're on set, for example? In the breaks or
No,
stuff like that?
no, I don't have time. I'm usually trying to see if I can get an actor or an actress to go over the upcoming scene. So, nope, I don't. And I listen to podcasts on my way into the set,
Mhm.
or I do my. I'm actually learning Chinese right now because everything's Chinese.
Chinese.
I'm trying to
Holy.
not eavesdrop, but I'm trying to understand some of the things that are being said so that I can.
Yeah, coordinate better, and yeah, I totally understand. What's your favorite vertical you've done so far?
Well, there's actually at least 3, to be
Okay.
fair.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so Locked in an Abandoned Luna's Body, Lana Barron, and Rick Shepard.
Do you know which platform? I don't know this title.
I don't know what platform. I don't know if it's Short Max or Real Shorts. I don't know. But you can look on IMDb, it'll tell you, I'm sure. Or look at Lonnie Barron or Rick Shepard. Anyway, it is hilarious because she used to be, it was a man who was a womanizer.
Okay.
And female, wolf, person, dies. So, or he dies, and her body for some reason is abandoned. I'm not sure why, but anyway,
Mhm.
his soul goes into her body. So she is the perfect comedic actress, because in your mind, you're hearing his voice in her body, and she has the sarcastic mannerisms are so hilarious. And I know they wanted not to have the man's voice in there, so I don't know if they changed it, but when we were filming it, we were laughing all the time. The other one was The Unwanted Mate. That was with Eric Gilmet and Ashley Michelle Grant. I like that one because that was actually filmed at our cabin, our family cabin.
Oh,
They
okay.
removed everything out of that place and put everything in and made it all real. And, they broke my mother-in-law's expensive record player, but I didn't say anything to them. But anyway, I tried to get it fixed as good as I could. But yeah, they move everything, and they don't, sometimes stuff happens. But then the other one that I really liked was Relentless Love, and that was Jessica Jacoby and Kenny Resch. And that was the one with EVU as director. And that car scene, it's super seductive. But if you were to pull out and see what's really happening, there's a guy on lights moving this thing like this, making it look like car lights are coming past the car. There's the assistant director and Evie's fiance rocking the car, and it's a fake background going by. It looks like they're in the city. I mean, it was crazy, but that was fun because I got to actually choreograph it. And I was like, thanks for letting me do that, because I can.
Yeah, learning by doing is always the best. It is.
Yeah.
Last question. What genre you want to see more in the vertical space?
Genre, less of the corny romance and more of real drama, maybe some horror, maybe some comedy. I don't know, but just
Or
something.
criminal cases.
Yeah, something different. A whodunit kind of a deal, not what Wolfpack did it, because they never really see any of that action anyway. You just hear what's happening.
Yeah,
they're coming over the mountain, but then you never see them coming over the mountain. Yeah. And what I would like to know from you really quickly, just so I can, on your side of the world, do you have access to Netflix's documentary called Make It Look Real? It was Claire Warden. It's a day in a life of an intimacy coordinator on set. I can't remember the director's name. It's a female, but she won awards, and it's released on Netflix, but we can't get it in the States yet.
Can you send me the title? I will look about that, and I can also ask some other fans from Australia where if they can see it or not. And
I'd love to see it.
Because we are doing, I don't know if you have seen it, we are doing a monthly recap. I'm doing this with 6 other fan ladies. One in Canada, one of them actually lives in India, one of them in Australia. So I can check if anywhere in this space.
Somebody can record it and send it to me. I'd love to see it. I don't know when it's going to get up there.
Yeah. Send me the title again and I will check that for you. No problem.
Yeah. Because there's a lot, you could type in Make It Look Real in YouTube, but there's a lot of Make It Look Real titles.
Yeah,
so you have to put intimacy coordinator in the title and it'll come up, or Claire Warden. But anyway,
no problem. I will check that for you.
Awesome.
If I can help you in a special way, I would love to do that.
Yeah,
totally.
That would really give people a clear picture of what an intimacy coordinator does on a real movie. I mean, real movie.
Yeah. I will check that out. Check that. Karie, I thank you very much for joining me for this podcast to enlighten me with the intimacy coordinator stuff. I'm not sure if we are having such kind of people in Germany on an acting set.
I'm sure they are, but hopefully they are. I don't know. Germany is pretty
organized and structured.
Yeah. But
absolutely.
There's a lot more things that are that they're willing to do and see in Germany than they would in the States. So we're a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm not aware if we have intimacy coordinators.
Yeah.
I don't know. So thank you very much. I wish you a lovely day and sending over a lot of greetings.
Thank you.
And you can, if you please could tell me or send me some of your credits where you did the intimacy coordinator, because that's kind of stuff, you know, we as the audience, we don't know who was the intimacy coordinator exactly, who was the, I don't know, the gaffer, stuff like that, because there are really less credits on verticals. So I would love to know that.
Okay, I can do it.
Thank you very
I'll
much.
email it to you or text it to you. I'll probably send you an email.
Yeah, that would be really great. So thank you very much, and talk to you soon, Karie. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
This is a wrap on this episode, and I hope you tune in again.